Jim Ziegler, the Alpha Dawg, and I've got another exciting broadcast with the crew from space. Yes, I've got the spaceman here. Okay, we're going to talk about Space.Auto, not .com, not .net, Space.Auto. Make a note of that. We're talking about proprietary technology that nobody has, nobody else can do. These guys have spent $1 million preparing for the auto industry. Starting with Gray Clark. Hello, Gray.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
What do you do with Space?
I am the VP of Dealer Services. I run our services team, anything from marketing to client advocacy, people that will be the representative of the dealership and communicate marketing strategies and stuff like that. That is all in my department.
Okay, so you're a sales guy.
I'm not a sales guy. I'm not a sales guy. Definitely more so orchestrate marketing team as well as the creative team that does a little bit of social media management and ads and stuff like that.
Fantastic.
Hey, we need strategy first, Jim.
Do what, Nick?
Said it's strategy first, not sales.
Yeah, definitely strategy and
marketing. And one of my favorite people in the world,
hey,
Taylor Bartholomew. Hey, big guy.
I hope that was going to be me. Hey, how are you?
Just
good to be here.
Since you didn't label yourself, what do you do with the Space.Auto?
Yeah, I'll give it to you in layman's terms, I guess, or non-jargon terms. I build and design our products and make sure that they're solving problems for our customers.
Okay, that sounds pretty ethereal, but we'll get into more specifics in a minute.
Okay.
And now an old friend of mine from now an old friend of mine from way back, direct from the UK, my good friend Nick Askew, who is the CEO and founder of the company. Nick, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, absolutely happy to be here. We're talking about, it's a great time to be having conversations about the automotive industry because it is changing drastically. People are going to start having to get a little bit more aggressive. We're going to have to start fighting for people's business again and showing them why they should buy from our dealers.
It's going to normalize, isn't it? It's going to normalize.
It's already begun. And what we're trying to see right now and what the data shows us is that gone are the days of the glory days over the past couple of years of when all you had to do is have a vehicle and you can sell it. So now there's going to be certain strategies in place that for sales, for marketing, for keeping costs down in a dealership that people are just going to have to get back serious about again.
Sales, market, cost reduction. The market's going to become competitive again. I've got one of my dealers that just said he's got 123 cars in transit from the factory right now. So dealers are going to have inventory again. And we have to recall the days when we used to do triple net deals just to get a deal. We used to fight for market share. So you say that's all coming back.
Yeah, and it has to come back. A healthy market with anything is somewhat competitive. Right. It's actually what drives innovation and it's what drives people to get better every day. With the market being as turbulent as it has been, and look, we've all enjoyed making some high grosses over the past couple of years. But it does not necessarily keep us sharp. And, I'm actually really excited about dealers having to get competitive again because this is what moves the needle forward in the industry.
Well, Nick, I've been watching on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I see all these people congratulating themselves on having record months, and as if they had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be really a sad change of events when people realize we're going to have to really hustle to sell cars again, and you have solutions.
Yes, we do have solutions now, and we look at our solutions, and the reason that we exist, right? And the reason that Space.Auto exists in the first place is to unify automotive technology. And James, thank you. It's the only reason that I have a job. I can fool a lot of people.
And he's much smarter than he looks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Face for radio, but we're here today. But yeah, I mean, the reason that we exist is to really help dealers in unifying a lot of those technology solutions that they have to be able to be more strategic and ultimately just make buying a car for both the dealer and the customer a more pleasant experience. So, you know, some of the reasons that those exist is because, you know, dealers historically have tried to bolt on a lot of solutions to be able to say, okay, and everyone's always looking for that magic pill, right? But now is going to be a time where we can't take a maximalist approach. And in fact, the customers don't want us to take a maximalist approach. They want a very direct way of interacting with a dealership that doesn't have dead ends, that actually can be somewhat controlled by the customer and the dealer in collaboration. And you know, dealers really need to start looking at what costs that they have for technology and marketing, and not just for their own pocketbook, but it's actually more profitable to be able to spend money in the right place, to be able to.
Now, you've told us what dealers have to do. What solution do you have for that?
Well, we offer two main selections of products. So one is our actual technology itself. This is a full suite of website, all retailing tools, such as, you know, if replaces everything from your trade appraisals to your credit apps, all the way to a customer portal where someone can handle an entire transaction. And then we also have a CRM that's dealer side. So basically on the product side, it's everything a customer and then also the dealer needs to communicate about buying a car. And then also we complement that with our kick-ass services, which is making sure that we can drive more traffic to the website, we can convert as many people as we get there, and then we can also help support the dealer in communications as well. So, you know, either you can just get our product and be self-serve and have the most badass website and CRM, or you can have our team help you drive more traffic and convert more of those customers as well from our agency side. So
they can buy some or all of your services. They can be selective as to what they use and what they don't use.
Yeah, no, look, that's one of the differences with us is, you know, take on our services side. If someone is just selling, you know, and we know a lot of companies are out there saying, you know, Facebook ads, they're the best, you know, they're the best thing. You're going to drive ROI. You know, at the end of the day, yes, Facebook ads can drive ROI, but we think about what happens when that customer clicks that ad, where they go, what story is told to them. Then also, in addition to that, what's the conversion? What are we saying to them after they decide, yes, I want to do business with you? You know, that's to the customer, that's all just part of the same journey. They don't think about just Facebook ads on their own. So to answer your question, yes, we can just service dealers with a small part of our product offering, but we're still going to think about it and strategize with them as if they were doing all of it, because that's what dealers and customers deserve. Is not just to someone to say, this is my area of responsibility. It's how does this thing fit into your entire marketing strategy?
Well, how does Taylor and Gray fit into this equation?
So yeah, so Taylor being our chief product officer. So really, you've got two people here that lead both the product and the services side.
So Taylor's the geek.
Well, I mean, that can be, that's without being said, you know. It's, but
it's true that,
yes,
you know.
Yeah, it's the cat's out of the bag, Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so he really, and he leads a great department of designers, developers, QA people, and really it's his job to understand exactly what the dealer needs out of their software solutions and make
sure. You've got
$1
million invested in new proprietary technology. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's more than that now. So Taylor actually spends all the company's money. So you know what?
Taylor's just spending the investors' money. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he's the best at that in the team.
Yeah.
So you got more than $1 million plus invested in proprietary technology.
Hey,
nobody's got what you have. Nobody can do exactly
takes money
what you
to
have.
make money, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let me get him on the main screen a second. Okay. Taylor, tell me about proprietary technology. What have you done that is unique
Absolutely.
for
So
Space.Auto?
when I came into this industry, it was really obvious immediately that dealerships really needed help interacting with technology and specifically their marketing technology. It felt like, something I say all the time is it just feels like everyone's sales funnel is just this Frankenstein of different vendors, right? So, when Nick and I sat down and started talking about how do we really disrupt this market, our angle coming into this industry as kind of the little guy right now is saying, how do we just make the best product that actually solves the dealership's needs? And so to that end, we started building. And what we discovered was that, when it comes to something like a CRM, for example, you talk to these salespeople, these internet sales managers, and they don't use 95% of the products they have, right? And so
Oh, my gosh, that is such a profound statement. I'm going to tell you a quick story.
do it.
I was at Motorworks. Motorworks is a dealer in suburbs of Chicago. They are one of the biggest Highline dealerships in the world. They sell 500 Highlines a month. 500 Mercedes, all the big nameplates. So I go in that dealership and I'm trying to figure a way to improve the perfect dealership. I mean, they're already perfect. So, and they're paying me big bucks to consult, and I've got to improve their profitability. I only did two things, and it's what you're talking about. Number one, we solidified their processes, all the processes, the way they sell cars, from meet and greet all the way through taillights. We solidified process. But the second thing I did is they had a proprietary CRM. It was from Mercedes. They had a proprietary CRM, and I said, well, what are you using in this CRM? What are you not using? And we solidified what they were using, what not using, and we took out everything out of the CRM that they weren't using and would never use. We simplified it.
Yeah.
And once we decided what they were going to leave in the CRM, we mandated that every employee would use everything that was still in the process. Does that sound
Absolutely.
like familiar to you?
Yeah. Yes, it's very familiar, and it's the basis for a lot of why we set out to build a CRM in the first place. A lot of people, when they heard that we were doing this, they were like, "Okay, good luck, buddy." Like those are, CRMs are really complicated. But the really interesting thing there is that, but not just the CRM, but I feel like dealerships tend to take this maximalist approach towards their solutions. They think they want everything, right? But what I noticed about CRM specifically was that you have these CRMs that have all these features, all these dashboards, all this X, Y, and Z. And maybe the internet sales manager or someone that's getting paid to kind of manage the CRM gets some of it. But what ends up happening is you have all these bells and whistles, but you end up alienating the rest of your team. Your sales force doesn't want to use your CRM. And that's one of the really worst and most tragic things about the situation is that when the sales force isn't interacting with the CRM, you're not getting good data. You're getting skewed data.
The CRM is the heartbeat of the dealership.
Right. And you can't, you might as well not even use it if only some people are going to use it. So, when Nick and I were talking about how do we fix this, it's like, well, we need to make a CRM that's immediately obvious how to use for the guy who's only been selling cars for a month, the guy who's not super tech savvy. The thing is I'm not saying selling cars is easy, but I think that
not just the new stuff, but some of those old car dogs don't know how to operate the technology either. I'm talking about the ones that have been in it a while.
Yeah, but to me, like the hard part about selling cars from the people that I've talked to is more about like how you connect personally with people, and like the bureaucracy behind the sales doesn't need to be complicated. And for some reason, it's become that way, that the bureaucracy and the processes behind selling a car has gotten in the way of doing the thing that the salespeople are there to do, which is connect with someone, find out what their needs are, and see if they can close the gap between what that person's looking for and what the dealership has to offer. And that's the actual hard part. So this whole like tech stack, this like one sales funnel thing that we're building, it's so that we can disappear into the background of the deal and the salesperson can forget about the technology and it just is there when they need it to support them, but they can really just focus on the human to human interaction. And that's kind of what I think is missing right now, because I go into dealerships and I just see like people at their desk.
Go into dealerships. That's a big statement, because how much of the Space.Auto team is actually visiting and working in the stores with the people?
I mean, it just depends. I mean, we've got a really great customer service team, and Gray can speak to that.
I'll rest him in a minute.
Yeah, from the product side, I'm mapping out a lot of what are the most high impact things we could do for dealers. And Nick, who's got great relationships with our clients, him and I will go into several clients' dealerships and just. We did this like just a couple weeks ago. We went into Patterson Longview, and we went in. We talked to the GM. We talked to the internet sales manager. I talked to a floor salesman for an hour, and I just said like, "Hey, what are your biggest problems? Like, what's stopping you from closing more deals?" And
so you're getting down on the operational level, the people that are actually using the product on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, totally. And we're trying to discover their problems and solve them in a way that's not just bloated and complicated and creating chaos.
What about the management problems? I go in dealerships and I see managers with 3 screens with different vendors, different processes, different applications, and they're trying to use a CRM on this screen. They got something else on this screen. Here's dealer track.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and it's. We're trying to get a deal done under 45 minutes, and none of these applications communicate with each other.
So
now, one of the most brilliant people in SEO, how do dealers offset the risk from a single point failure? Performance declines with only one vendor. True or false?
Yeah, I don't know if I totally agree with that. That implies that like if something goes down on our system, which it really doesn't, that everything's going to go down, and that's just not fundamentally true about what we're doing in our technology. So Nick, it looks like you want to jump in here, but
go ahead. Look, it's something that I experienced.
That's something.
It's something that I experienced. Even being held accountable on a dealer level, right? Is that if you got your internet director in charge of everything, at the end of the day, you're not looking for a vendor to blame. You've got one, like in a company, that is the responsibility of one person. Just like if used car sales are down, you go and you used car sales manager. Now, with people utilizing a company like Space, we're not here to cannibalize other vendors. Now, we're here to replace some things that need to be replaced, such as, having multiple types of form submissions on your website. Now, going through a single vendor for things like that, you're just talking about just reframing your mind from, okay, should a website even exist with 17 different plugins on? Or should that all be one centralized thing? Now, that doesn't mean you can't do different advertising and drive that to that same website. Doesn't mean that you can't integrate other partners. It's just saying that there's no reason that a website platform should have to even rely on separate plugins to exist in the first place. There's a company that I'm very good friends with, one of the founders, and one of their products, and I don't have permission to tell this story, so I'm not going to say who it is. One of their products was just to display SEO pages with specials on the website, and they would drive some traffic to those. And it was a great product. They scaled really well, and it added a lot of value for dealers. And one of the first conversations we had was like, with all due respect, why doesn't this just come standard on website platforms? Why shouldn't you just be able to create really good SEO pages with specials, with and drive traffic to them? And that's really what this is about. is that there's no reason that you should have to integrate multiple things to actually do a basic job like that. So, that really is just with us, what we want to try and replace and streamline, because not only do the dealers have to spend a ton of money with lots of different vendors and making sure that they all integrate well, it's super expensive, but also it creates all these roadblocks for customers to where, oh, they're in this vendor's path and it's taken them off the website. Well, yeah, that does a lot of great for the attribution of that vendor, but it doesn't keep the customer focused on the business that they're dealing with, which is the dealership itself. And that's what we're trying to make sure is that we keep all of the customer focused with communications with the dealership, and not necessarily just trying to pad the attribution of these individual vendors, because what happens is they fight for the customer's attention and take the attention away from where it really deserves to go, and that's to the dealer.
Nick, there's a question on the screen I think you could probably best handle.
Yeah, so OEM vendor requirements. Look, we work with some OEMs. We're still a relatively small company. We have two OEMs that we work with really close. We also, with our content and services side, we work really closely with BMW, and they, that's a great dance that every vendor has to really figure their positioning on. Primarily, we're servicing a lot of independent dealers and groups right now, and that's really one of the things that I think has been ignored. In this question right here, how do we deal with the OEM vendor requirements? There are a huge amount of independent dealers that deserve attention, and our whole strategy is we will organically build these relationships with vendors, with OEMs, and be able to try and climb up the ladder there. One of the things that we've had a problem with is that when you develop a product that doesn't exist, and let's just say, everyone has agreed that SEO is a product. To us, SEO is a mindset, and every piece of content that you put out, every web page, every experience for a customer should be built with great SEO in mind. Now, you can't sell that to an OEM as a package because they say we specifically pay for SEO. So we're going to have our own set of challenges with that with the OEM. But every time you do something revolutionary, which we believe that we're doing right now, you have to change the mindset. And that's just going to happen with us proving that with lots of dealers, and also proving that to the OEMs over time. The worst thing that we could possibly do is backtrack our products into a mindset that already exists today and segment our products just like that. We're building things because we believe that being segmented is actually breaking the automotive industry. So we'll fight that fight.
Fantastic. Gray, we were talking about in the dealership earlier. Expand on what we started with Taylor a minute ago about what we're doing in the dealerships.
Yeah, so not only do a large quantity of employees at Space come from a dealership background and already have a little bit of knowledge about the challenges and problems that are going on in dealerships, but each client of ours also has what we call a client advocate or a pro marketer that gets to know the business and is a representation of that business back to Space, and the problems and the business goals that need to be reached and stuff inside of a dealership gets communicated back to us. And as they subscribe to our different pieces of technology, if they come across things that don't quite suit their business or they're having issues with, they have a representative that comes back and gives that feedback to our team. It goes through our different channels, and we make changes according to what helps dealers reach their business goals.
So you're telling me the dealerships have their own representative? They have an individual they work with?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things is most of these bigger vendors think that solutions are one size fit all. And like, just because this worked for somebody means it's going to work for everybody. And I'm not saying that we reinvent the wheel each time for different dealers, but there's definitely different problems and different solutions available for every single dealer. Taylor can talk a little bit more about the product side as far as what the process is about when dealers come across problems. But
Mhm.
I think one of the biggest things we do differently is understanding our dealers' business goals and how we can help them reach those goals with different solutions. And like I said, there's different things that we can do to modify the experience that their customers are getting or how they interact with our technology in order to do that. Taylor, do you want to talk a little bit more about that process?
I want to ask right now, is there a phone number I can give the viewers that can call and discuss their needs?
There is a phone number. There absolutely is a phone number, and we're not maybe not my personal phone number this time, Jim.
I got your phone number. That's a 213822270, right?
That's it.
But we don't want to use that. What do we want to use, Nick?
No, that is I've blessed that one. That one's going to the company, not my personal cell.
Okay, use that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll put it up. 214. What is that? Dallas?
That is Dallas. We're Texas born and bred. Well, I'm not. Yeah.
No,
I'm honorary Texan.
Do me one,
Nick, are you still?
give me one.
Nick, are you still getting
favor,
late night
Nick.
phone calls? Nick, are you still getting late night calls from when Jim posted your personal number on the show?
Hey, I wish I'll take more of them. I don't mind. It's when Jim posted, it's the money phone ringing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, honest to goodness, Nick loves 24-hour calls. 3 o'clock in the morning, he is ready.
Yeah,
so cell
ready
phone.
to go.
There it is. that is Nick's personal cell phone. 3 o'clock in the morning, no problem. You know.
I love it.
Taylor, tell us more about the technology. Graves was a little camera shy there. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It's really interesting because, like Nick was saying earlier, the independent dealership market is a really underserved market. And they have different problems than your like official OEM dealership. They need to do different things. Their customers are very different people. And so, Gray was talking about we can't just serve up these one size fit all solutions to them. And there's an aspect to scaling a technology company in any industry that you can become this faceless corporation that just gives, your square meal a day, and it's exactly the same for every single customer. And that might work for some people, but for dealerships, it's not going to work. And that's kind of the magic behind us being, the one solution for everything, plus having this personal, pro marketer or customer advocate, as we call them. You have this person's phone number. You call and you say, "Hey, can I talk to Haley?" It's not like some random support agent every time that you have to wait 3 days to hear back from. And the thing about that is that person understands what business goals you're trying to achieve, and they coordinate with a team to pull the levers in our system that are going to help you achieve those business goals. If your website needs to drive more credit applications because you're a BHPH, then we're going to make that experience more upfront and send more ads there because that's your goal and that's what your customers need. And your customers.
You're one of the few vendors that's dealing with you're dealing with the franchise dealers and the independents. I had Tracy Myers from Frank Myers, one of the most premier used car dealers in the country. I mean, well known, well recognized, runs like a machine. And I introduced him to Nick, hoping he'll get you connected with more. And you're connected with several dealer associations right now, the Independent Dealer Association. Who are you working with?
Right now, we're working with, and our newest memberships are the Texas Independent Auto Dealers Association, and then New Mexico as well. So we're going to be flying out there and doing a main stage session next month, the 9th and 10th. In Albuquerque. And look, we love independent dealers. My background might have been with OEM, but we're huge used car market as well. And, you know, like Taylor said, they have definitely been underserved. You know, everyone always asks, well, you know, what the first thing that they're going to say is like, oh, what are you going to do to get the OEM partnerships? And that is absolutely valid, but I mean, it just shows the mindset of people is that it's all about the glitz and glamour of getting an OEM partnership, and then you've got 80,000 plus independents, pre-owns, buy here, pay here's around the United States that go, you know, where's the products that are made for us?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so
if I can piggyback off that really quick, I just feel as though our mission right now is to stay focused on the dealership and their customers, and that all the glitz and the glam associated with the OEMs, like we want them to come to us and follow our lead, because we want to create a paradigm shift that focuses on
exactly, because when you are chasing the OEM co-op, you are submitting that you are going to fall into the standardization of the OEM. You're not going to be creative. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Angus Fox just said the industry is primed for a new website vendor with modern technology stack and modern technology tooling. And
absolutely,
Angus. And by the way, Angus is one of the most brilliant people in the car business. He's inquisitive. He's going to be out there. So I'm telling you right now, that's really interesting to me that people are listening to this broadcast and saying, wait a second, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Nick,
I do
do
think
me one favor. Nick, do me a big favor, would you?
Always, Jim.
Nick, say automotive again.
Oh. Wait, in my speak or
automotive.
Automotive.
There you go.
I'm not even going to try my American one. It'd be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is an interesting question that just came up. The co-op thing is always a point of pressure. And Nick, you can probably speak to this as well. But, you know, but the thing that I've noticed is that a lot of our, you know, OEM clients are sort of just bailing on that because it's not worth them using, you know, the crappy official technology that's prescribed to them. They want
people tell me all the time I hear, well, that vendor is really crappy. The results are crappy. The reporting's crappy. They overcharge us, but I do get co-op.
I do get co-op.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. It's like that's their whole business.
I hear that all the time.
And I, you know, I get it. Like I'm sure there's dealerships out there that really rely on that co-op money. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I am saying that, like, you know, to be at the forefront of change in this industry, if you want this industry to progress, there is a certain amount of risk that's going to be required, and that's where we're pushing forward, is saying
they're not going to get it till they see it. They're not going to get it till they see it. They need to call the number, talk to Nick, and get a demo.
Yeah, talk to Nick. We need great demos, the best demos.
You can hear what we're saying here, but you're not going to get it until you see it. They've spent more than $1 million, way over $1 million. You know, Taylor's got an unlimited person. He's like a drunk sailor spending, you know.
That's what it feels like sometimes. Well, that's how Nick makes me feel sometimes.
No, it's, we've got to what I want to show is our commitment into actually building something that the automotive industry needs. You know, we're looking at big dollars that we're investing internally into not just our products, but our support systems are, even the fact that we were joking the other day, you know, with someone that was involved with a big automotive SaaS company, and we were talking about building our QA department, and they said, oh, well, our quality assurance was just dealers complaining to us. And, you know, that as funny as that is, you know, what we want to make sure is that we actually invest the money internally to make sure that we say, look, we believe in the automotive industry. We believe in this mission, and we believe that dealers deserve better. You know, going back to that comment of it's more than co-op, you know, forces us to use certain tool. And that's true. And, you know, it doesn't always mean it's the best tools. You know, one of the funniest things that happened, I got a call from a dealer he said, "Hey, I need some help with some targeting stuff that are, they said that they pay 50% of the ad spend." It's like, cool, yeah, let's take a look at it. He got 2 options from his vendor. It said, would you like multicultural or standard targeting? And would you like video or static ads as placements? And that was their strategy. And they'd pay for 50% of that and charge them double. So it all comes out in the wash anyway. But that's the level. I mean, we joke about it, but that is really the level of deep strategy that a lot of these OEM programs are going into. And I don't want to rock the boat. We still deal with a lot of OEMs. We love our partnerships, but we do want the chance to be able to have that paradigm shift and say, look, the reason that we don't, and
this is a better way.
It's a better way.
We have a better way.
We're not going to back our products into a mindset that already exists, because that's not the right thing for the industry. Although it might be the right thing for us to get co-op dollars, understandably, we're not going to cut our legs out from under us just to.
Yeah, you're not going to wear fishnet stockings, smoking a cigarette, standing under a lamppost.
No, not during.
That's a very detailed image, Jim. You know it well, I guess.
Yeah, very
been there.
But I mean, you're right though. We're not. That's so undercuts what our mission is about, and and really, at the end of the day, that's what makes dealerships have to resort into having this lackluster technology and advertising solutions. Is if you have to wait for things to be co-op approved, it's already too late. So
let me ask another question that I guess I'm going to get to her on this one. Video. We have video in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you referring to like walk around videos and those kinds of things?
Communicating with consumers with using video. People right now have different modalities of receiving information, and
absolutely.
Web 1.0 was flat text.
Mm-hmm.
Web 2.0 we put photographs in it.
Yeah.
Web 3.0 we put sound in it. Now Web 4.0 we put video in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that it's pretty common knowledge at this point that video is one of the best ways to connect with your customers remotely. That's something that we've been hearing since the beginning, and we have really big plans for expanding our video communication channel. But we do offer video within our CRM, and so when you're inside of our CRM, you can attach a video to a text or an email and see it in the thread, and the customer gets it just like they would a video from their grandmother, So it's a very seamless experience, but we want to take it to the next step and really continue to invest in that channel because we see that it's effective and that dealers and customers alike really connect with that. So you should definitely expect to see a lot more expansion in that area in the coming 6 months.
Fantastic. Let me let Greg expand on video a second.
Yeah, video as it relates more so outside of our website platform and CRM platform, and going back to marketing. So video is what sets you apart. One of our strategies is actually social media marketing, and having dealers tell how are they different from the dealer down the street. Like what are their key differentiators, and like show that there's more than just selling cars. They're truly people that are involved in the community. They're in your backyard, right? Video is a chance for you to truly connect with people and show them who you are as a business outside of the fact that you sell cars, just like every other dealer in town. Video also can be used for video marketing that can be put across different channels and shows offers, inside of YouTube pre-roll, stuff like that. And I really think that it's just a way for you to truly distinguish yourself and show who you are.
We're on video right now, and we're communicating with people. I think I showed you guys before the broadcast where the website that this video will ultimately be parked on had 145,000 or thereabouts views last month. People are absorbing video in huge content volume. Nick, what do you think?
Nick, before you go, I was going to say one of the biggest shifts in video is the uptake of Instagram Reels and TikTok. Some of our biggest clients, like BMW, were running TikTok and Instagram Reels for them, and we have people that we've got 800,000 views on some of these videos, and all it is talking about
800,000 views on
5 features of a new model, right? That people may not know. It's these small bite-sized pieces of information that people can just
so we're
learn
putting car advertising between the teenage girl dancing in front of the mirror in the ladies' room.
Yeah, but I think the biggest difference is with video, you're getting authenticity, right? Like it's not clean cut and perfect all the time. It's people being themselves and showing like, hey, this is 5 things I like about this car. This is 5 parts of a sales process that you need to know before you show up. Like you can educate your customers.
It's all realistic. My God,
Yeah.
we got
Taylor
on the broadcast.
Yeah, people are trained to know what an ad is within like a millisecond. They know when they're being marketed to, and that's kind of one of the geniuses about that. Like TikTok as a platform, and I think one thing that Gray's team has done really well is integrating into the expectations of the people that are on TikTok and making it feel like it belongs among the content.
Yeah, you're entertaining them, but at the same
TikTok,
time,
Facebook, LinkedIn, there's different audiences on every one of those platforms. I mean, the people are there.
Yeah, and look, I think it just goes back to where consumers are spending their time. And with video, even in 2023, there's projecting to have that a continued shift in how much video people watch on their mobile devices. It's a really effective form of communication, and I think on the product side with Taylor and on the service side and marketing side with Gray, we want to make video a really important part of that entire transaction. And why? Because that's what people consume. Like we're just
the dealer generating the video.
Yeah, so either or. So on the marketing side, with some of our partnerships, like with BMW, we're sending our creative teams to dealerships. We're sending them out into the field to the factory. We're creating video, but also dealerships.
That's what I wanted to get. So your creative teams are having a lot to do with creating the videos, as well as the dealership personnel.
Yeah, so we do that on behalf of the dealership for marketing purposes, but don't forget the power of video in the sales cycle, right? So, if you think about marketing and sales blurred together, marketing is just conversations to a lot of people. Sales is more intimate. I would be selling Jim a car and it's sales. It's a one-on-one conversation. Now, whether you use videos in marketing that we can create, the salespeople or the people at the dealership level should still be able to incorporate video into their sales tactics, right? Walk around videos in the service department, showcase, being able to upsell with, we've all got the look how dirty your filter is conversation, right? But at the end of the day, video is a really effective form of communication. So whether we're creating it for marketing purposes, I do still believe the dealership would be doing themselves a disservice if they didn't communicate using video as well. And by the way, a lot of CRMs and technology doesn't have the ability to do that natively. There are a few companies out there that have made that a central point in their CRM, but a lot of people are still resorting to things like BombBomb and other video embed tools just to send a customer a freaking walk around video. So I think just the area of importance here is that no matter if it's sales or marketing, at the end of the day, videos.
Most CRMs were designed in around 2002, 2003, 2004, and video wasn't a factor. Multiple modalities of receiving information weren't foremost in their mind. And now we have to look at the way that the consumers have shifted to social media. Social media is a huge platform, and you guys seem to have a handle on that, where a lot of people are not incorporating that into the CRM and the entire technology presence, the whole stack.
Yeah, and look, it's not fair to say, we understand when you build something and scale it to that size, it's really hard to build your entire like imagine asking Vin Solutions to just say, hey, build another CRM from the ground up. And then release it to everyone and train it on everyone. I mean, you're talking about a huge undertaking. It's really hard to insert those features into something that already exists.
But you got to keep putting band-aids on outdated technology.
Yeah, or you can build it from the ground up, and we're lucky enough to where we're building this into knowing.
But you're not just a CRM company. You're not just a website company. You've got multiple facets to Space.Auto. I mean, there's multiple, and they don't need to buy all the facets. They can keep some of their current vendors they're happy with. I'm sort of getting that.
Yeah, we want to play nice with other vendors, right? We're not here to just say, you know, everyone sucks, we're the best, go home, we're going to replace you all. You know, we want dealers. It's a
But
free
you
market.
did say that.
I did say that. Right? No, look, we want dealers to be able to make that choice, right? Of course, we'd love to get everybody on our entire stack, but we understand that people have contracts to fulfill. If you're with a company like Reynolds and Reynolds, and you're probably used to a 5-year plus contract, right? So there's sometimes
and they've got more attorneys than programmers at Reynolds. Don't mess with
for sure. So, you know, we want to be able to help with all of that, and we're here, but we're not going to hold dealers to an all or nothing approach, because, you know, there's big culture shifts that need to change, and also you know, like I said, they've got contracts, they've got things that they want to achieve, and we're just here to support them on achieving their goals. And quite frankly,
they don't know what it is until they see it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to see it until they call the phone number on the screen. That's Nick's personal cell. And we'll show you a complete demo and what the difference is. You will be amazed.
You'll be amazed.
You'll look at this system and you will say the whistling of dams. You go, God damn. The whistling of dams.
Yeah, you know, just to go off that, like we don't want to, you know, alienate. We, like, just like Nick said, we don't want to just push every vendor out. We understand that there's all sorts of complex situations. The thing that we really stick to is that our system is greater than the sum of its parts always. So the more you have, the better it's going to compound and create a more fluid system. So if you just have one thing, it's going to be great. You know, if you just have our website platform, it's going to be a great website platform. You know, but if you had 2 of our products, if you did the CRM and the website, well, you're going to get a whole level of fluidity there that you wouldn't have had before, that you wouldn't get if you just had either of those products by themselves. And I think that's where some of the magic lies, and why we really want to encourage people to kind of dive all into it, because that's part of the value is getting that fluidity throughout all those products that really doesn't exist in the marketplace right now.
Absolutely. I told people so far, Nick.
Well, we've not told people a lot of things. There's, you know, we've got a lot of things that we want to show. I think the biggest deal is, you know, if I'm a dealer today, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right things for the customer, you know, I just can't stress enough how we have to talk about a concept of digital customer service. So Jim, if you owned a dealership right now and I walked in there and you were greeting me as a salesperson, you know, I would assume that you would be thinking about customer service. You would be thinking about making it a pleasant experience for me. And a lot of dealerships want their dealerships to have a great customer experience, right? Any business, brick and mortar business as well, you want to treat your customers well and provide some kind of hospitality. Would I be correct in saying that?
I think you would, yes.
Right. So now let's think about that concept as it relates to digital and how people interact with the business online. How helpful is it to go onto a dealer's website and see things behind, you know, squeeze pages, to see a multitude of pop-ups, to try to see a bunch of vendors cannibalizing the screen, you know, not actually giving the customers the information that they want, hiding it behind, oh, you've got to submit this lead form if you want the price. You know, there's a reason the FTC's in everybody's ass, but at the same time, you wouldn't treat a customer like that in real life.
So much wasted space on the front page of a website. I visited a website recently where the dealer had a picture of the dealer and his dog by a fireplace at the top right-hand corner of the screen. I mean, the most valuable real estate on the page, the picture of the dealer and his dog.
Yeah.
And there's another
might be a
dealer
really nice
there's another dealer that's got a picture of himself, and he calls himself the bow tie guy. I mean, it's all, the whole website's about the bow tie guy with cars, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it comes down to like, what job do you want your website to do for you? You know, do you want to tell people about you? You know, is it a big ego trip, or do you want to sell more cars? So if you want to sell more cars, look at your customers and what they want. How do you get out of the way so that they actually show up in your showroom? You know, I say this all the time, but I've watched hundreds of website sessions, just watching people browse on websites, and 99.99% of them go straight to the search page and start browsing cars. They want an Amazon type experience. That's what they're used to. That's what they want.
Now say it again. Say that again. Slow down.
Yeah.
Say it again. They go directly to the search page.
Yeah. That's all customers do. They go to the search page and they look at pictures. That's what they want. And they are making an emotional decision based on images and being able to browse your inventory and say, I want a silver Jeep Wrangler. You know, do you have it? You know, oh, there's a really cool black one there. That's close enough. You know, I might go in and test drive that. I like black. And, you know, that's really what you're trying to do. And so when you create these really robust, like, about us things, you know, not to give this dealership a hard time. I'm in Austin. There's a dealership here that I get a lot of YouTube ads for. And they have this commercial that shows up, and the first 25 seconds is them telling us about the history of the dealership. And frankly, no one cares about the history of your dealership. They just want to know, can you give me the car that I want at the price that makes sense for me? And so you have to be very pragmatic about it, about your website. It's a utility for customers. You got to think about Amazon. Amazon is utility. There's there's a lot of stuff going on, but really it's designed to get you to the product that you want as quickly as possible. And that's what your websites need to do. And that's really what the whole space system is designed around, is how do we distill down the utility of what's going on and just like completely remove the noise. So there's clarity. You know, there's a guy named Donald Miller who says something that I think is pretty clever. If you confuse, you lose. And I think that's the case with dealership sites. It's like, if you just create a bunch of chaos and noise and you treat your front page like you would a billboard, you're going to confuse people. You're going to send them 100 messages and they're not going to know which one to pick, and they're just not going to pick one, you know? Yeah. So give them one clear message that delivers them to the product that they want and get them into the showroom, because that's where the magic is going to work. That's where you're going to get to talk to them and get to know them, get them to the showroom.
What do you want to add to that? Gray, have we left anything off?
I think something we can talk about a little bit more is our approach to multi-touch marketing strategies and guiding. We've talked a little bit about guiding a customer on their journey and them having the same experience throughout everything and getting them to the next step. But something that we do, it's actually what we call it, is a multi-touch marketing strategy, is we have placements that are multiple ad styles, multiple platforms. But just to back it up a little bit, our job is simply to match dealership marketing goals to their business goals and just to head into a direction that's right for them. When we start to understand their business goals and what they'd like to achieve and craft a strategy based on that, it allows us to, really meet their individual needs backed by data and by that customer journey. So what we do is we first figure out what is the dealership trying to achieve, right? Then we can build a strategy behind that helps them achieve that goal. So if they need more trades, let's try to guide customers down a journey that supplies them an ad to get a value on their trade or to sell their car. Let's show them a landing page that's optimized for getting a trade value. Let's go a call to action that they can quickly enter a few lines of information and get in contact with the dealer. Next step, let's get them into the CRM and get some autoresponders going out that continue that journey and continue allowing them to get to the next step. And I think that's one thing.
So you send out some autoresponders, bringing them back to the site.
Yeah. So, and then obviously you can add on top of that retargeting, like, you can do placements on Facebook, Google Display, and like, were you able to get the value you were looking for your car? But I think the biggest thing I'm trying to say is it's important to have a unified strategy in order to reach a goal. And we've mentioned a little bit about all of your tools working together. I think it's important for your marketing strategy to also directly be in correlation with your business goals and continuing that customer down a pipeline in order for you to reach what you're trying to do.
Leaving no dead ends.
Yep.
Exactly. And, that's why it's really important for Gray and Taylor to work together on something like this for dealers, because, dealers have a hard time sometimes articulating their business goals. I think everybody does. We do it professionally for other people, but I'm the world's worst at understanding my own marketing because I'm too close to it. And dealers just want to sell more cars. They want to get more customers in the service department, maximize their fixed operations. And what we want to position is, for the dealers, yes, we want to get things out there that make sense for the customer and align for their business goals, but then give that customer exactly what they're looking for in their entire user flow. And I think getting rid of all of that kind of stuff, if you get a customer if you do everything you can do to get a customer on a website, you've spent traditional marketing dollars, digital marketing dollars, you've done all of this stuff to get them there, and they get there and it's just like Times Square, middle of New York, they can look around and see billboards for everything. It's like, oh my God, I can get $10,000 over KBB for my trade. There's a chat here. I can, oh God, look, there's $299 down, $299 a month lease on a Nissan Sentra. Like, yes, a maximalist approach is not really what customers are looking for. And what we want to do across, no matter our products or our service, are just flow the customer through something that actually gives them what they want. It's digital customer service. If someone walks onto the lot, we're going to answer their questions and give them what they want. And your technology and the way that customers interact with you today is through the internet and through their devices. And we need to take the same approach and stop trying to hack our way to making digital results look good and just get back to taking care of customers. And if you do that, I promise overall, you'll have a better, longer term, sustainable business, and you'll actually do a real service to your community. Don't trick them, just serve them.
Taylor Bartholomew. Taylor, I told the people today.
Listen,
big question.
It's a big question, and the thing is, we're not on here to sell you our products.
Certainly, no.
Hey, no, hold on.
We are here to sell
you. Gotta finish that.
We want you to buy Space.Auto.
No, okay. I do want you to join our family here and be a part of our system and benefit from our products, but change is coming. It's happening right now. And, as I think it was Angus was saying, that the industry is primed. The industry is primed for change right now. And the question really that you have to ask yourself is, are you an early adopter or are you going to be late to the party?
They got to see it though. They got to call.
They got to see it. And I get it. You got to see it. And we'll show you, but there's, the change is happening and we really want to be a part of that big change. It's already happened in a lot of industries. Honestly, automotive is late to the party. So we're already late. Let's move this industry into the place that it deserves to be. Like, let's give you the technology that you deserve to be using. That's something that actually works.
They wouldn't spend more than $1 million bringing this technology out of the ground if they didn't believe it was the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
bucks already invested.
There's a lot of things that are, people, there was a lot of doubt at the beginning. It's like, CRM is a huge undertaking. Why would you do that? And the truth is because no one's doing it right. It's a big undertaking, but no one is doing it correctly yet. And so it's an opportunity for us to come in here and build it right for you guys.
Fantastic. Well, Nick, we're down to the last 1 minute. can you think of anything we need to say before we get off the broadcast?
I think we just need to wrap it up with an actual sales pitch. We are happy to take demos and show everybody the full product suite. The only thing standing in the way from you doing that is you haven't been to our website and booked a demo, or you haven't called the number at the bottom. We are here to help strategize.
Call the number at the bottom.
Right. Don't make me do my American accent. But yeah, I mean, we're here to strategize. We'll demo products, but if dealers just even have questions, they want to know more. They might not even have questions about our product, but they might have questions about what to do as their business for their business, and that's what we're here for. We're here to help them solve problems for their own business. Just
everybody. We had quite a few viewers on this, and I'm sure the replays are going to get a lot more viewers. Well, listen, folks, this is Space.Auto, one of the most powerful new forces in automotive, and I didn't say that right.
It's late in the day, Jim. It's fine.
Wave goodbye to the audience. Wave goodbye to the audience, please.